very much. Good afternoon. So having just asked a question, whether or not as an industry we should be doing more to talk about the short-term power of TV, I'm going to present to you on why brands matter. So maybe I'll come back next year with why short-term sales matter. I think we can cover that off. But it's, in a sense, I think asking the question why short-term sales matter is so obvious. And asking the question why brands matter is exactly the same. It does feel like a bit of a question that shouldn't need to be asked. But it does need to be asked. And we are seeing that there is sort of increasing speculation around the importance and the role of brands. And some of the reasoning that's coming in behind these headlines is the likes of generational differences. So younger audiences who are growing up, they're less religious, they're more likely to have families that are divorced. Apparently they're less likely to be brand loyal. That's a fact, that's what's coming through from the articles. And probably slightly more believable is the way that the nature of how we buy in products is changed. And that we can go online, we can do research, we can price compare, we can check out customer reviews. And so why should brands matter in this new world where we can go about things in a very rational process and make our decisions this way? And of course, if brands don't matter, then surely advertising doesn't matter anymore. So we've covered off the view from the industry already this morning in terms of the fact that this does seem to be a step away from brand. We are not optimising our spend in the right way. We are declining the overall effectiveness that we're having as an industry because we're shifting away from the role that brands can play. We did a piece of research that Mike from Ubiquity touched on earlier, which was really about building the business case back in for how we should be thinking about how we get the best out of advertising, what's the benchmarks of what we can deliver in the short and in the longer term. And so you've seen the headlines from this. What I want to take you through today is just that one slide from there that demonstrates the importance of the long-term effect, that pretty much nearly 60% of the effect that we have on our advertising comes from the longer term. And that only 18% of the effect from advertising is visible through attribution channels. And so if we're just focusing on this attribution side of things, we're optimising our planning and our decisioning around this 18%, we are not giving us the full potential of what we can deliver. So alongside this study, what we want to do was try to build a bit of understanding behind the why brands are so important. Why do brands, the long-term effects, drive such a large proportion of our overall profit? And to do that, we worked with a company called the Behavioural Architects. They're a company that specialise in behavioural science. They work with advertisers to use their understanding of this field to help nudge people towards purchase by taking advantage of things like our cognitive biases, anchoring, etc., where you'll position yourself against a higher price item, you're more likely to get people buying more, paying more for your item. And what we wanted to do was come up with a technique whereby we could uncover the power of brands, because a lot of the brand effect is really, it's very subconscious. And if you go out and you speak to people about advertising, if you speak to people about brands, you won't tend to get much back. So we had to use an interesting technique whereby we ran what we called a brand deprivation study. We found 20 participants who were particularly fond of at least one brand. And we asked them if they'd mind if we took those brands away and we gave them a replacement to use instead. And when we were giving them a replacement, we were giving them something back in an unbranded, sort of unpackaged, unlabelled type container, so Big Brother style. What they didn't realise was that where possible, we were actually giving them exactly the same product back. So by doing this, we're able to see what the true brand effect was and what was actually sort of the product effect. And really, in terms of me talking, that's pretty much it. The rest of this study is brought to life through the participants in terms of the films that they made themselves, diaries of what this experience was like, not having these brands. And by taking away these brands, we were able to bring to surface really sort of the power of what they deliver, of the effects, and you'll see this coming through. So I'm going to start with the first video, which is before we've actually done any of the experiment, before we've taken the brands away, and just have a couple of our participants talking about their favourite brands and why they like these brands in particular.
I know that if any meal is dull, that it will jazz it up a bit. And I guess, yeah, again, the taste is familiar. It's one that I've had for ages and ages, since I was a child.
I had the Volkswagen Golf GTI, the proper one, the Mark II one. And mine was a factory special with the kit on and everything. Yeah. And this was in the days when you know, I went to college in this car doing my A-levels. Nobody had a GTI badge then, and it was a big thing. And you know, for anyone who didn't know me, knew that I was that kid with the GTI.
There's two things I do with my Yorkshire tea, a creature of habit here. So I rip the lid off so I can get straight in, and I separate it so they're all in single bags. Yorkshireman and tea are kind of connected. You know, you always think of like, that's like a proper brew and all that stuff, which is their tagline here. But that, you can hear Yorkshiremen say it. You know, you can look at that packet and you can even see what the bloke looks like who's selling this packet to you. It's Yorkshire on the bag. It's got that proper brew stuff. It just says everything you need to know about tea.
It's a very, very, very popular car. You go onto Auto Trader and, you know, the list of BMWs is because people obviously love it.
God, yeah, I really do this. I actually do. Just walk around and go, yeah, I like that, I like this.
You just don't know what you're going to get in there. Like, I've gone into Aldi and there's been a bollard. You know, just full-on, heavy-duty bollard. Now, I don't need a bollard, but it's nice to know that if I ever needed a bollard, it's there.
And the infamous door slams that you get with VWs.
Yeah, right.
There's that chunky thud. And the best advert I ever saw for one of those was, I think it was advertising the Golf, where there were sort of clips of people selling other small hatchbacks, and the taglines were always, it's just like the Golf. Right? But listen to that. See when I opened it? There's something solid that's happened, closed, safely, securely, you know. And because it's not Italian, that hasn't fallen off.
So this is just surface level stuff. We're just asking them just to talk about their brands, why they like their brands, and you know, generally people on you know, at that level in terms of talking about brands. So there's some really interesting stuff. We've got like the Yorkshire tea. You see the brand heuristics coming through. The way the packaging works in driving up this brand identity, and we're even seeing sort of advertising and past advertising playing a role in the overall brand experience. We're seeing some of the stuff come through in their perceptions of what they make of these brands. So from the VW point of view, those ads are surfacing, and that's what's coming through. So the next part was to take their brands away, and this is where we asked them to fill out some, so take some diary footage of themselves and their experience of using these new brands, these new products that we've given them that don't actually have a brand associated with them. So let me play this part.
So I've got my box with all my products. I'm not excited to use them all in because although it's things that I use every day, there's less to engage with, it's got less personality. So it'll be interesting to see how it feels to actually replace my usual things with these instead.
It smells. See, it doesn't smell like Listerine either because it hasn't got that kind of like blow your nose off smell. Doesn't hurt. Listerine hurts. It tingles.
Not sure what I think about that. Don't know if it is strong enough.
I don't look at it and think, that's my tea. I'm just looking at it and thinking, that is tea, rather than my tea that I recognise.
But again, I kind of miss that comfort of having the yellow bottom with the same bottom with the yellow lid and all that. Even though it tastes very similar, there's still like some, I don't know, perhaps something missing from the experience here.
Trying the water from the box. First thoughts are, I don't really trust it because I don't know what's in it. I sort of recognise the shape of the bottle as being from a cheaper brand, so instantly don't feel the same as well like when I usually use my own brand or my usual brand. I mean, obviously it's water and I'm going to need to drink water, and I know I'm going to drink water, but there's definitely something lacking in the experience from my usual experience.
I didn't really want to do either of the tasks, to be honest. Kind of like, I would know that it was a BMW from the outside, a debranded BMW, so to speak, but other people might not. So yeah, in a lot of ways you kind of lose that. I don't know if it's a wow factor, but you kind of lose that when people are looking at you and think, oh, he's got, oh, I don't know what car that is.
So I have just done a wash with the fabric conditioner that I was given, and I can say that I've just taken out the washing and there's barely any smell on the washing at all, which is really disappointing. Definitely a big difference in the one that I currently use and the one that I've just used, and I definitely wouldn't use that one again. The scent wasn't strong enough for me.
When I use the Head and Shoulders, what's happening then is I get this sort of squeaky clean noise, like when you clean the glass with a squeegee, and that, can't look at that, and that makes that noise that's clean, and that tells you that it's really clean. Right, this doesn't quite do that, so I don't know why, but I have been using it, like I said, I'm not overly convinced. I can't really wait to go back to my Head and Shoulders. If you reveal the brand to me, would I change? No.
It's a bit different from my own shampoo, dry shampoo. When I was spraying it, it was like really cold on my scalp, and yeah, it was really cold compared to my usual one. It wasn't as powdery, and I don't think it was as effective as my current one.
So I'm still drinking my water. At this point I'm getting a bit annoyed, just because I don't know what's in it and I don't know what water it is.
It seems to me that it smelled different and it stung my eyes more. Stuff you get. Don't take my Head and Shoulders away. I like my Head and Shoulders. Bring it back immediately.
I did feel that I missed an aspect of the brands that I know. I guess it's like missing a friend in a way, because once you've got to know something, then you have a connection with it, and I felt like I didn't really have a connection with the new things because there wasn't a lot to connect with.
Hello, hi there. I really want to go to Aldi, but I'm not going to go. I've just been to Asda and I've been to Lidl again. Some of the products are alright. The broccolis are big. I'll give Lidl that. The broccolis are very big. But on the whole, I just want to go back to Aldi, to be honest. When can I go back to Aldi?
He's absolutely brilliant. What a find he was. So it's fascinating. Like, first of all, you just see the lack of comfort, the usual familiarity that they have with their brand, the heuristics, the trust, the quality. They don't like their products. They don't know what's in it. They don't know what the product is and whether it's a good quality product or how it's going to work. But what's fascinating is that there's a physical manifestation of the brand effect. The shampoo doesn't work as well. The fabric conditioner doesn't stick to the clothes in terms of the scent the same way. The tea, it doesn't taste as nice. So this is the power of what we do. This is the power of brands, and it takes time, and it's caused by a number of different areas, of which advertising is one. But that is why the brand accounts for the vast majority, the long-term effects amount for the majority of the profit made, because of the power that it has, because it acts at a subconscious level. And actually makes the experience of the products better than when they don't have that brand attached to them. So we found that there were three core areas that were really sort of driving the brand effects. And we picked this up from interviews with all the different participants after they'd been through the deprivation study, and once we'd been able to sort of surface what it was that they were missing from their experience. And the first one is connection, so I'm just going to play you a short video that explains this point.
Back then, because people always used to come in and the first thing they would say is, oh, I can smell your fabric conditioner. And it's just like, it's a family smell, it's like a homely smell. To me, it says about me that I'm like clean, I'm quite homely, like I like to keep things neat and tidy. Like I think it's nice that if I walk past someone, they either get a whiff of my perfume or like my clothes or whatever, and it's just nice and it's not a bad smell. Because there's obviously nothing worse than someone that smells.
It's the VW brand, it's German efficient, it's quality. You've got the sense of mind that you will be safe. So Dad feels in a way safe. He knows that I'm not driving around a death trap. Not only does he trust me, he trusts the car to not just break down in the middle of nowhere or fall to pieces. I got the message of that advert when he was starting to blowing up. The girls at the armbands went in the pool, and then after that you got the sun cream and putting the helmet on, and just and then the music comes in. I'll like look after you, take care of you, and I feel like that's the message that VW is sending.
Oh, well, that's kind of stopped. But that's the connection you see there in terms of the sense of comfort. It's a sort of a family smell. It's something that identifies with their family. He's there talking about the fact that the connection that VW has with safety and quality. When his dad's buying him that car, what he's saying is that I want you to be safe. I want to make sure that you're protected. Now he needs to stop driving over roundabouts without looking if he wants to be safe. But the essence of what the brand is doing is there. The next area is about stability. Now we all like to think that we're comfortable with change, that we like new experiences and we like trying things. The reality is, in real life, it's absolute opposite. We like what we know, we stick with what we know, and that's been born through millions of years of evolution, where basically sticking with what we know keeps us safe, and this is how brands work. So let me play this for you.
I mean, I think in the modern world, everything's moving really quickly. We're also less connected with people, and less connected with our family, and I think that's another reason that I'm probably gripping onto things that do remind me of my family. It's because I don't live near them anymore, or I don't get to see them every day. And I think maybe that's something, we have less constant people in our lives because of the way the modern world is. So maybe that's why we sort of do hold those attachments a little bit stronger to things that remind us of them.
If you go to someone's house, I feel like you do expect to see a branded ketchup. I feel like if you put that one out and the Heinz one out, don't think that one will be touched. People go for things they know, and if they don't know it, they'll just try and stay clear of it unless they have to be forced to use it, I feel.
So if we just go and compare the market, and we just want you to imagine that you want to find some new insurance.
I wouldn't go with them for insurance because I don't know them.
Who?
You know, and I wouldn't go with Paws and Claws.
So the power of trust, the importance of trust, which you mustn't underestimate. That trust is a fundamental part of what helps us make these decisions. Familiarity is part of it, but also this is where we need to think about the environment of where we're advertising, where we're placing our ads, and what kind of message that is conveying in itself. And then the final one is identity, and this one's pretty obvious. It's about how a brand reflects who we are, how it makes us feel about ourselves, and how it makes others see us. So let me play you this.
Nike's just everywhere. They've got a lot of ambassadors, footballers, basketballers. Okay, so you've got Nike clothing on, you look sporty, you look in the parks, you look ready to play. Whereas if I just turn up in this, people perceive you differently. You put on a Nike outfit and then you're going out to play the role of a footballer. If you turn up in an all Nike outfit, no one's going to question your ability in a way, I feel, of sport. You've got the right attire, like, I look good, I look the part, I'm always going to play well. I feel like you go out there with a mentality that you're going to win. So I do feel like Nike is associated with winning and being a champion as well, I feel.
Head and Shoulders, and I like it so much, I've already lined up the next ones for when I run out. Look at that. Fucking good as that. Organised or what? It's got this sort of squeaky clean finish when I run my fingers through.
Does the Head and Shoulders have like a logo?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. After I've washed with that and combed my head, it's bang on Don Draper. Head and Shoulders is for real men who just want to get the job done and then not look at themselves in the mirror constantly or fiddle about with their hair.
There's just Costa everywhere, Costa. I probably wasn't as aware of it before. It is for everyone of all ages, colours, creeds. I'm an inclusive person. I like to try to be. I like to be sincere and honest in personal life, and I can see it feels like they have the same moral values as me.
The brand awareness that BMW is just a premium car, the best car. It even said they're the most innovative car in its class. I'm using the same language that they use.
I think the guy when he's talking about playing in Nike, he puts on Nike. It makes him feel like he's a better player. He feels that other people are more worried about him. You know, it's like an outfit that a superhero can put on. I think the final thing then is just to go through how did they react when we told them the truth that the products they were using were in fact the same products that they've always used. Let me play this.
You're kidding? Really? I'm really shocked. I am so shocked. That does not taste like Yorkshire tea. I would swear on my life that wasn't Yorkshire tea. I even gave it to other members of the family and said, what do you think they would go? They all went. It doesn't taste of anything. Is it decaffeinated? No. You're kidding. Oh, I'm amazed. I am absolutely amazed.
What does that make you think of then, now that I tell you that they are actually fundamentally the same things?
Slightly tricked. I had a sneaking suspicion, but you know, because like I said with the butter, I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I thought this can't be the same thing because you know if I take the other one out and put it next to each other, it doesn't look the same for some reason. And maybe that, and I'm thinking now, you know, now I know it's the trick of just packaging.
Obviously, just the fact you're taking out the out the actual branding and the yellow pot and all that. That is. It's weird what it does, you know, how much of a part of the product is its branding and the way it looks and, you know, what memories its connotations, everything like that. Very, very strange.
But I did think that the Lenore just didn't, the Lenore this time just didn't stick to it. That's so strange. And then the hair thing, that's weird that it comes out colder. So they're the exact same product. That's so weird. So it's obviously just a mental thing.
Well, the stuff we gave you was it was Evian and it was Heinz ketchup.
I was like, what's in this water?
What do you find surprising about that then? The fact that it's the same stuff as you usually have?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just highlights that I was missing the branding of it more than anything else. So I was missing the face rather than the body.
So there you have it. So to summarise, the majority of impact, it comes in the long term. It's why brands matter now, and they're always going to matter. The reason brands work is through behavioural science and psychology. It's the way that we are wired. This isn't going to change. Advertising does help to shape brands, and it helps by working over longer periods of time. And the majority of the effects that they have really are subconscious. It's not stuff that you're going to see through or just asking people about explicitly. And the final point, aren't people lovely? You know, we're dealing with data a lot of times. We've got our heads in spreadsheets, we've got our heads in numbers. And sometimes just to get the truth of, you know, what it is that we're about and what really matters, you just need to go out and speak to a few people. And I think my final point would be, if you want broccoli, then you go to Lidl. If you want a bollard, it's Aldi. Thank you very much.